Hey, it's Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and it is Thursday. It's December 5th. This will be our chart lesson for the day, and this is going to wrap it up for the week. No chart lessons on Fridays, so I hope you had a good trading week. We'll see what tomorrow brings, but again, I'm not doing chart lessons on Fridays. Haven't done those for quite a while, so for anybody new, if you're looking for one on Fridays, we don't do them on Fridays. So we started off down again today, went into the sideways issue like we have been doing and then went up again. And one thing about this is notice that we traded up and went in sideways instead of trading down and going sideways off this downward channel. Notice that we had a little rally here and went sideways. So guess what? The odds are you probably will go up if you on your breakout. And of course you may fail both sides a couple of times. And once we started up again, I'd look for a measured move like so. I'd probably just measure it like that. I'd measure that first, and then I would also measure this entire move right here, and then measure from here. And you see that's basically got you almost a, that basically got you almost a perfect measured move right there. So, but I would have measured it from here and here first. But once we came back down again, I'd measure this whole thing because that still looks like one leg. And then there's your two-legged correction right there, and then measure from there on. So, and you could have measured it from here, same thing. So, but anyway, traded down, got a little overshoot here, which a lot of times when you get an overshoot like this, you may not get a retest. And we moved up. It didn't surprise to see me. This basically is a, I'd call this a range day because we traded, most of the day was traded inside the overnight highs and lows. We did break a little lower here, but this is still mostly sideways kind of action here. And we did trade, close up for the day. This is where we closed yesterday. So there's still a little bit of a gap left on the daily chart. It is down here around, whatever it is, I think it's 30. Well, let's just see what it is. 30.91. So we still got a gap down around 30.91, and we didn't. The lowest we got today was 31 something. So there's still about a 10 or 11 point gap in there that we've got. So we may still try to fill that gap before it's over in the next couple of days. But anyway, I'm going to back out. We'll talk about the trades and we'll wrap it up. It was a little slow early this morning. It actually is a good trend down, but it just wasn't a lot of setups on my chart. Some of your chart might have been a little better, but wasn't a lot of real good setups on my chart. So anyway, 7 o'clock came right in here somewhere on this move down. And notice you get a first entry long, then you move on down, you get a second entry. So that's a failed second entry long. The only problem I've got with that, we do have a break and a new high. The only problem I've got is we haven't got through the EMA there yet. You like to see this reversal push through and pull back. And I mean, it's close, but it's just not, it's not a real big correction. So that's a little bit risky. It's not a perfect reversal pattern. So I only mark that one green, but it's not long before you get a quick second entry. Notice first entry. You got the new low here, so first entry, and then you correct a little more in a second entry short right there. And there's another second entry right here that you could have considered. The only problem with that is now you're right into all that support, and you can see that's where we closed again today, and you can see prices working both sides of that. That's a pretty important piece, price level right there, so you're not really going to want to go short into that, and that's why I didn't mark it. In this case, it worked out, but you don't know that ahead of time. There's another second entry short right here off the. Okay, sorry, I had a little interruption there. I think we were talking about this little second entry right here. If I'd had a good signal bar, I probably would mark that one right there as a good trade. Notice your new low, first entry, second entry. It wasn't back to the trend line, but you didn't really have this trend line confirmed anyway. I just drew it off of here, and you could maybe even argue that it was off the trend line if you pulled that down. So, but technically it's really up here. So, but that's not a trade I would be afraid to take if you had a good signal bar. So, but notice what happens. You come back here and you do turn down again. You get a fairly decent bar, a lower high, and you got enough room to get out before here. So, and this really is still 2 legs back. Notice, even though there's a little swing down, that's 1 leg, correction, 2nd leg. So that's the same thing as 2 legs back. So that's your better entry. Again, I only marked it, and there's actually a hidden 2nd entry in here too. Notice the move up, correct, pull back, 2nd leg up. I marked it green. It's not a perfect signal bar, but it's mostly bearish, and it is off what looks like a key entry point. If it wasn't for all this support across here, look at it all the way across, I would say you'd probably want to go short right there, but there's no way I'd ever suggest or ever would myself take that trade into that support. It's not worth it. It drops right on through like it's not even there, but you don't know that, so it's just not worth doing. And unfortunately, you just don't get another setup on this until we get the overshoot. Generally, I'd tell you don't want to be trying to pick bottoms here, but this is a higher low, and look how far away we are from the EMA. We got an overshoot here. You may want to risk that back to at least the EMA, and you may catch the low right there, which it does turn out to be the low of the day, as you can see. So the better trade is to wait on the reversal. Notice you got a little double bottom, so that's a new low, and you get a 1st entry, 2nd entry. It fails, and if you drew this trend line off these highs and drug it over here, it's right in the perfect spot. That's the place to go long right there. And you get a quick move up. There's actually another little pullback right here, but I wouldn't go long up here at these highs that far away from the EMA, because notice it's not long at all. It barely goes higher and it comes back, and that's what prices do. They don't stay away from that EMA very long. And then you just get another 2nd entry here. That's your first break of this trend line. Pull back, 1st entry, pull back. So that's a 2nd entry long, and you're looking for prices to try to make a new a retest of the high. So I like that setup. We run up, and then we're just going sideways. And so what did we talk about yesterday? The only way to trade this is to get long at the lows with enough room to scalp out, or short at the highs with enough room to scalp out. And notice this one, it broke higher and then turned and went out the other side. If you wait to go short below that bar when it closes, you don't have enough room. But because it broke higher first, you could have had a sell stop 1 tick below that bar, and you got just enough room to get out, and it would have been a good trade. I believe if you went short 1 tick below that one, it would have been you would have been bouncing off your exit order, but you don't know if it would have got filled because it never would have ticked through a limit order. So that's why there's a reason we go for 4 ticks, and there's a reason we say not to mess with that number. It's amazing how many times you'll get exactly 4 ticks, and then you're not going to get 1 tick more. So you had to enter that one properly. It was so tempting to go long here, but again, you don't have enough room. Of course, this time it does go through, and it would have worked anyway, but you don't know that. So, but guess what? You get a 2nd entry short right here. Notice that low, 1st entry, 2nd entry, and nice bearish bar on a failed breakout. That's a good place to go long. Now you got more than enough room, and you actually get a lower high here with enough room to get out too. So another nice entry there. You do get a failed breakout down here, but not a very good signal bar. Again, there's a lower high here, or a higher low here, not a very good signal bar. And then by the time this one comes, you don't have enough room, and you see it wouldn't have worked. So, but you do get a short there. I marked this one green, but it's real close. You could argue for it to be red. The reason is just because it's an up-down bar right there, a bullish bar, then a negative bar. But the odds are we're probably going the other side. So you may want to take that one. It's real close. You could argue for it to be red. I marked it green. But notice now we're dropping down. And you may have actually moved this down to here by now. You might have even had it down here. Because now you're getting most of your touches are still right in this level right here. And so that's where I probably would have had it. In fact, I probably would have moved it to there just to catch that move down as well. And that looks pretty good right there. So you're dropping down. You get a little bullish bar right here, but you've made a lower low. So I'm going to wait on a higher low here before I would want to get long. And that one's tempting, but again, you're still making lower highs and lower lows. Wait till you get a higher low, and that comes right here, and you get a nice bullish bar, and you got plenty of room to get out. So that's where I like entering. You can't go long right into all this resistance. We had broken out here earlier, but twice more we were back inside there, so there's probably more stops built up here again. So you want to get through and see some kind of trap or something before you try to get long. And when I say get through, you want to get through this resistance first. And notice we do push on up, and notice what happens. You make a low, you test it once, you test it twice, and you actually get a little further drop down there, and you test that original resistance area. It acts as support, and there's a hidden second entry long there as well. So I like taking that trade right there just to try to make a new high, and this thing takes on off. And then now you get a lower high way away from the EMA. I like going short right there. You don't know that it's going to do this, but you're just trying to get a scalp back to the EMA, or maybe even back to test these resistance area or the support area again. But this thing, the bottom just falls out of it, and that really takes you into the 2 o'clock hour. You don't really get another setup after that. So not a bad day. It wasn't the greatest day, but it wasn't a bad day either. So again, you had a trend up here, break, new high, and so you were kind of looking for a reversal up here possibly too. And then you start moving, and this is what a good reversal. Look how it goes right through the EMA, then comes back. That's what a good reversal really looks like. But notice on your failed second entry long, it hadn't really pushed through like that yet. It doesn't push through and give you a lower high till here. You run down, you get the overshoot, which gives you a heads up that you're going to at least get a break. And sometimes when you get an overshoot, you don't get a retest. And we just start going sideways. It kind of starts looking like it did the last couple of days, except instead of going sideways down here at the lows, we actually traded up a good bit before we went sideways. So again, that tells you if we break out of here successfully, we may go to the high side because we broke out, because we went into this going up. So the bias is up when we're in this little trading range here. Then we run on up, make pretty much a measured move, and then boom, the bottom falls out. We end up closing up though before the day's over. So but yeah, that's going to do it for today. It's going to do it for the week. We'll be back again Monday. I'm done for today. I'll probably trade for an hour or two tomorrow like I do on Fridays, and I usually try to take the day off. So hope y'all had a good week. We'll be back again to do it next week. I'm done for today. This is Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and we'll see you next time.